Call our meeting to order. We'll start by standing for the invocation, and then we'll remain standing for our pledge.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the privilege that we have of being here. We thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us to worship you. We ask that you would be with those in our community that are grieving today. We're thinking of the Tooley family and the Hasbrook family. We ask that you would strengthen them and undergird them. We think also of those that were victims and the families of those that were victims in Orlando. We ask that you would be with them, encourage their hearts, and be with them in a special way. We ask that you would be with this meeting. We ask that you would give our leaders wisdom and direction, and may everything that we do and say be for your glory and your honor. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I got one or two things here. All right, and before we get our meeting started again, I'm just going to reiterate a little bit of what I had to say at the beginning of the year. This is our town board meeting, and town business is to be taken care of and conducted here. And we would again like to request, if you have something to say, we would like it to be constructive. We're not here to tear one another apart or attack one another. We just want to work together and see things go forward. So again, it's not the place to hang out dirty laundry. If there's differences or problems, please take care of them outside of the town hall, because this is not the place where differences are to be taken care of. Thank you. We'll open our meeting here at 7:05, and we have Melissa that has come to just give us a little bit of a briefing on our security system.
Good evening, everyone. So, we came out and did a survey of your current fire alarm system, which is in disrepair. So we've given you two options. From what Lou had said, you guys have decided to go with option number 2, which means what we're going to do is we are going to replace your panel. We're going to upgrade it to the latest technology. With that, we're going to keep all your fire alarm systems currently exactly the way they are with the wiring. We're going to pull them over onto the new panel. The new panel will still allow those systems to be upgraded in the future if you choose to upgrade those to the latest technology. All these devices could be addressable. It gives you the option to change those over to an addressable system in the future if you choose to do that and change out your devices. So instead of when the fire department comes up and he looks at your annunciator in the front entryway and sees there's a fire, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, we're going to change it over so that it still does that. But you do have the option in the future where they could actually have an exact device and exact location coming up on that annunciator. So you would have the option to do that. But for now, we're going to keep everything as it is and move it over. We have no guarantee which devices are going to work and which are not. We won't know until after we test the system. So, we could come back with several devices that will need to be replaced. So that would be a follow-up quote from one of our inspectors when they come in and look. Also, we're going to install a Knox box in the front entryway. So what will happen is that you guys can store a key to your building in there. The fire department has a universal key for your county. So if there is a fire in the building, he doesn't have to break your glass or break your door to get in at any hour of the night. He can just come in with the key and get in the building and address wherever the situation is. Also, we're going to be installing CO detectors per Amanda's law, which took effect last June 27th of 2015, but they did give a 1-year extension on it. So by June 27th of this year, all commercial buildings are required to install CO devices per code regulations where if there's gas sources. So we're going to come in. We are going to install 5 of those, which will give you full coverage for any area of the building. If carbon monoxide were to leak in at any point in the building, there would be 1 CO detector covering all areas. And I think that's it. I think we'll test the system, we'll inspect the system. So once we move everything, all your current devices over and stuff, like I said, if something's not working, some of the devices aren't working, we'll be able to figure that out and make sure that everything is up to code when we're all said and done. But like I said, we don't know in advance which devices might not be working. So that would be a follow-up quote that, you had 5 smokes fail, we need to replace, or whatever. So that would be on the back end. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions about any of that?
The current smoker is heat and smoke. Okay. And then you require separate detectors for CO2.
Correct,
Okay.
yes. Because we're going to keep your system as it is on the zones, the old system's going to stay as it is. We're not going to replace all the devices. That was the quote that had the higher cost, was to upgrade everything.
And these are functionally obsolete, whatever, they're perfectly good, meet any kind of standards that might be in place now?
Standard-wise, as long as they're functioning,
Yeah.
they're fine. Like I said, we'll connect them all to the new panel, and if devices fail when they do the testing, we'll come back with a quote, just like we would any inspection anywhere, any system, and say, 6 didn't, because they are kind of old, so some could very well fail, and we would come back and replace just the devices that failed. The heats in the kitchen, we have 1 heat detector that was damaged, and I guess we had some false alarms from the smoke from the heat in there, so we're also switching those over. Those will all be heat detectors, so from the cooking and everything, you won't get false alarms in that area. From all the steam and stuff going off in there.
So your quote is for the installation of the physical items and not the service of monitoring?
We also had a second proposal that is an inspection contract, it's a 5-year contract, and your first inspection is going to be free with the system. I mean, after we install, everything is going to get inspected, so it kind of comes with it. But after that, you have 5 additional years that you can add on that's going to include that monitoring agreement, so that everything will be monitored through a central station. You'll have a contact person that will be called should anything happen in the middle of the night or in the day, whatever, there'll be a contact person. This one has a $250 programming fee initially for the dialer. And then the inspection contract is $935 annually. So that would be a repeat bill every year for inspections, if you wanted to go with that as well. And then I have the other proposal for the install of the COs, the switching over to the new panel, adding a dialer, adding the Knox box outside, and the COs. That was on that one. And I also brought you guys a copy of the code. I just wanted to have it handy. Real fun reading, I'll warn you now, but it'll keep you busy for a while. So, are there any other questions?
Could you explain the manufacturer of the system? This is a company that's been,
This
and this is
is-
the original one that was installed there.
Yes. The one here is as old as the building is. So trying to fix it and play around with it, and possibly, I don't even know if parts would be available if we tried to get it up and running. So it's very obsolete. The one you're getting now, the upgraded version, is a Simplex Grinnell panel. Simplex Grinnell has been in business for over 100 years, so we're not going anywhere. We're not going to abandon you with it. It's the latest. Like I said, it has the option for all latest technology. Your COs will have addresses. If a carbon monoxide detector goes off, your new annunciator in the front lobby is going to say where it went off. So the fire department will know immediately where to go. All your other devices, like I said, we're going to keep those the way they are, but you do have the option to change them over at some point to addressable, and this panel will allow you to do that. It has the capability of all the latest technology in the panel, so it should be good for 20 to 30 years.
So it will be monitored 7 days a week.
Yep, around the clock. And what you'll do is, If you agree to the monitoring contract, what we'll do is we will send you a form and you'll fill out who it is you want contacted, like during what hours or whatever, who your contact person is. And then that monitoring company will give them a call and let them know if your alarm goes off at any time.
Who would be,
As well as alerting your fire department, of course.
who would be the monitoring company, or is there a choice?
It's our monitoring company, it's the Simplex Journal, yes. Monitoring agency. Any questions?
What's the timeframe for installation? Since we're going to be past the date that's...
Well, I've given you, I also brought you along a plan for compliance form that you can give to your fire marshal, which basically says that you've done everything on your part to follow code and to become compliant. So at this point, you're just waiting on scheduling with us, because now with the rush, with the June 27th deadline, all agencies that will be installing these are just probably going to be a little backed up with them, so you'll have to wait on parts. So say they came around on the 28th, you could present this. You've made, you've done everything on your part. You've agreed to have this repair done. So at this point, it lies with us to schedule it for you. So that way, you can show them it's a good faith that you are taking the steps to get that.
What the deadline is June 27th?
June 27th, yeah. So that's when the fire marshals will be going and doing those inspections. But a lot of people still are not aware of this, so I wouldn't stress too much about it. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to say, what? When he goes out, and fire marshals will be much more concerned with them than somebody.
So that has to be kept on file with a building inspector or town clerk?
This form?
Yes.
I would just keep it with whoever meets with your fire marshal if he comes around to do an inspection, whoever would be here, because you can say, yes, we're aware that we need COs. As you can see, we've already taken steps to have them installed. We're just waiting on scheduling or parts or whatever. And then my name and contact info is here as well. So usually what happens with a fire marshal with any deficiencies, even when they do an inspection, if they come around and they see some of your smoke detectors or something aren't working, usually what they'll do is they'll give you a certain amount of time to get it fixed, which is what he would do anyway. And then in that time, if you're waiting for scheduling, a lot of times they just call me to verify that you've agreed to the repair, and as long as I say, okay, you're fine.
Yeah, it's all under...
It's all under state contracts, so bottom of barrel pricing regarding parts. Labor all pre-negotiated, which makes things easy, because for most companies, if you're already under your state contract, pre-negotiated, which means you don't have to do the whole bid situation. It's already been done for you. You're very welcome.
You have a contract there
I do. Do you want to give me a PO today?
I think Sandy has one.
You do? Okay, so I'm going to give you this form. Do you want me to give it to you?
Bob is going to have to sign it. So.
Okay, so this is, all I need is this. I don't need a signature if you have a PO. Sure, if you have right here. Yeah, that's all I need. With state contract, we only need a PO. We don't need a signature. So I'm going to give you, this is your form for your fire marshal. That states, somebody just needs from here needs to sign it. Everything else is completed by me that you agreed to it, and you're just waiting on us for scheduling. Okay, let's leave you here. This way.
Thank you.
All right, that's my card. Anything else?
Should be good.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'm going to ask Jim if he would just give us a little rundown on what he's got for us.
Yeah, I distributed the contracts that Anna sent me for the new computers. Basically, we only need 6 and not, we don't need as many as I thought we needed, because we're going to be able to use 2 of them that have i3 processors. Anything older or slower than i3, we're going to upgrade. In addition to that, some of our computers are using old software that is no longer supported by Microsoft, so that's all got to go. The new ones will be supported for many years to come, so that's not going to be an issue. Everything will be i5 Intel chipsets, and in addition to that, I'm suggesting, and I've got a proposal there for you also, that we upgrade our internet connectivity. Right now, we're operating at 3 megahertz, which is really way too slow. I mean, most individual homes don't operate on anything like that. It's a single DSL line. It really is not adequate for a town hall. So my suggestion is that we switch to Time Warner, we get cable, we get at least 15 to speed, which will be 500% faster than what we're using now. And while it might cost us a little bit more than the current Verizon, it's actually going to be cheaper in the end, because I know I talked to the appraiser and he was saying that he has to wait so long for data to come in because his files are large, that it's actually, we're paying by the hour. It's costing us more money to have him wait for data. So hopefully this is going to, speed things up quite a bit. Everybody will notice it right away. The computers that we are purchasing, I believe 2 of them could come out of different budgets. One of them could come out of water department, but it hasn't been budgeted this year, so we would have to pay for it and then hopefully have water department budget for it for next year, if that's possible, I don't know. And the other one is the historian's computer, and there may be a budget for that outside of the actual, our town budget. So we may only have to purchase 4 out of town money. So you have the proposals. I definitely recommend that we upgrade our computers, and by all means, we should upgrade our internet connectivity. It's just, we just don't have enough bandwidth in this building. So you've got that information, and you can do with it what you want.
Thank you, Jim.
Oh, question?
Chair, with the bid, opening bid, do we have that information? What's the difference between what we pay now per month and what you're recommending we go to?
It's going to probably be, it might be as much as $40 to $50 more with the new bandwidth. And the reason I don't know for sure is because I couldn't give him an exact number of phone lines. I don't know how many phone lines we have in the building. And as soon as I get that number, I'll have an exact quote. That's the problem. I don't know. I was here yesterday and we counted them up, and it looked like there was 5, but I think we've got one at the pump station. That would be 6. So I really got to get that. They said that they would send somebody from Time Warner to our building to check everything out and evaluate it and tell us exactly what we need. So we'll be able to zoom right in on it once they do that.
Is there a time frame for that by chance?
Well, yeah, I would like to see it done sooner than later, only because, like I said, I talked to the appraiser and he said he's having a hard time doing his job because of the bandwidth.
And beyond our assessor, who else uses bandwidth? Cindy, do you?
I do, but not very often.
Yeah. Is anybody else?
I'm not sure if you told the
Any access to the internet for any reason, the download speed is going to be 500% greater with cable than DSL. So that's what we're looking at. And the money isn't going to be that much different.
Thanks, Jim. All right. Okay, I'm going to open the privilege of the floor at 7:22.
Mike Joyce, Inch Road. So Tom Beluso couldn't make it tonight, so he sent a couple questions specifically about the PCs. A couple of questions we already know. Is the town still planning to purchase computers? It looks like the number's 5. Has the town selected a provider for new PCs? Did the town issue an RFP and go through the competitive bid process? Was the RFP made public? What employees will receive the PCs and why? Is a firewall included in the security for our records? What is the plan to deploy the PCs and who is responsible for ongoing support, including the firewall, including ensuring the firewall is updated? Will town's policies and procedures be updated to reflect these changes? So I guess that question's to the supervisor.
Okay, Mike, or Jim, do you recall which one?
I can answer some of those. On this computer is who has been doing our computers for years. And so those are the people that we got the bid from. They will install it. They will also integrate the phones with it. They will provide a firewall. Everyone who has a computer running at less than an i3 chipset will have their computer replaced. We have 2 computers right now, Isla's and the town clerks, that have i3s. We're going to keep those. Like I said, the firewall will be in place. We do have security, and Amos is in charge of maintaining that.
So Amos does phones now?
No, but they're going to help us with the integration of the phones and the computers. They're going to assist us with that. But Time Warner will install the phones. They'll determine what phones are needed, and they will install that as part of the contract.
So the question, I guess, remains because Amos custom builds their computers?
Actually,
Not
no,
off the shelf?
these are not custom built.
So the hard drives aren't custom built?
No, none of these are custom built.
They're not Dells?
No. No, these aren't custom, these are off-the-shelf computers. In fact, there's a copy of the, I give you a copy of the.
That'd be great. You do that.
Yeah, I give you a copy. They're not custom built.
Okay, because they were passed.
They were in the past, yes, but I recommended that we just go with a Lenovo ThinkCenter M700. We got them at a reasonable price, and there's really no need to have a custom-built computer. It really doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't improve
Right,
anything.
you can share the specs, that'd be spectacular.
Yeah, I have a set of specs, you can have.
Yep. So a couple questions. Tom, I know you couldn't make it to the Republican County meeting. Instead, you went to the Democrat County meeting. Can you confirm that Supervisor Myers and
Okay,
Council
well,
was
we
the
don't
order
need
of
that.
attendance?
This is political, this is town business.
It is.
Okay, we don't do political at the town business.
So Supervisor Myers, has the town board completed all the ethics and financial disclosure forms for our ethics laws?
Okay, this is comment period, this is not question and answer, Mike, so.
Well, you don't have to answer, Mike, because I have questions, and you can answer them. That's a standard question, right?
No, he doesn't.
So, can you confirm with the recent import of Rotterdam residents to sit on our town boards and committees, along with your close alliance with the county Democrats in Rotterdam, can you confirm the fact that you and Councilman Esposito are working to dissolve and merge Princetown with Rotterdam?
This is,
Yeah, do you have any other comments,
I
Mike?
do, I do.
Okay, this is political, this is not the place for political business, okay?
It's a question.
This is for town business.
It's a question.
Okay, we're not going
It's
to
a question.
entertain the political.
It's a question.
Okay. you can
So
ask
last week I had some questions for you. Are you able to answer those questions?
Not at this
Do you want-
time.
Do you want me to repeat them?
No.
You sure? So I did a couple charts. So I think you commented that you would finish those questions this week?
My name is Joe Krasinski. I live on Ennis Road. On January 1st, 2012, as many of you know, I was sworn in as a member of Princetown's Town Board, and I served through December 31st of 2015. As a member of the Town Board, I learned a lot. The first thing I learned was that because I was born and raised in the city of Schenectady, I was not accorded a big Princetown welcome, as the most recent Princetown newsletter boasted without irony. The town cashed and continues to cash my checks for property taxes, but I was not welcomed by the feudal lords and ladies of the fiefdom equally as one born here. So be it. Second thing I learned was, as an elected official, was the importance of unambiguously worded resolutions. on which the town board would vote. This is the legal cornerstone of transparency in government. Another lesson was politics. Bob, you talked about politics, and I agree 100%. My politics are my own, and each person in the world has his or her own. But what I learned was that people who disagree with me politically would drum up charges against me that were generated by intolerance and disrespect. Right here in Princetown. It was a bitter pill to swallow. Having said this, I learned also that there are many people in Princetown who are honorable and respectful of opinions that differ from their own. It is to those people that I address my concerns this evening. The agenda for the April 2016 Town Board meeting contained a resolution on page 4 concerning the security system for this building that was incomplete. It contained blanks where dollar amounts should have been. Never in my 4 years on the town board had I seen such a blatant example of lack of preparation. It is an example of sloppy housekeeping and evidence that this town board was not ready to vote on the resolution when the agenda went to press. Why was it not tabled until the scope of work and other bids could be clearly listed in the resolution? That didn't happen. To the honorable people of Princetown who share my fundamental belief that government spending should be completely transparent, I say this is unacceptable. But the outrage continued when the supervisor, without batting an eye, filled in the blanks by word of mouth from another town board member with a dollar amount of $10,142 and asked for a vote. And unbelievably, the resolution was passed. This august board then moved on to the next item of the agenda as if nothing unusual had happened. Because it happened that way just as I described it, I have questions that I base on papers right here regarding the procurement of a security system for this building. In 2012, between the months of May and October, I, as a town board member, obtained quotes from 4 security companies. And I wish to share this 4-year-old information with the people of Princetown who care to listen. It is noteworthy that town board member Esposito worked with me in this endeavor. The 4 companies were Simplex Grinnell, the installer of the original system that you talked about just now. And quotes from Simplex Grinnell ranged from $1,198.50 to $2,520. The second company was Fire Security and Sound Systems. Their quote was for $1,148.10. The third company was Tyco Integrated Security. Their quote was $5,232.14. And the final company was Wolf Security on Erie Boulevard, who came in with a quote of $969. Questions I have are as follows, and they are addressed to the town supervisor, Mr. Myers. Obviously, I do not expect a response during tonight's meeting because this is not my right during privileges of the floor. But I will expect a detailed response to these questions in the July Town Board meeting. First question, why was the incomplete resolution on page 4 of the agenda of the April 2016 Town Board meeting not tabled until ambiguities could be removed? Question 2, why were you not aware of the quotes Mr. Esposito and I obtained in 2012? Question 3, why did you, having not tabled the resolution, call for a vote on a dollar number that was unknown at the beginning of the meeting and that was unaccompanied by a scope of work when the resolution was passed for $10,142? The scope of work, by the way, is loosely defined as what the town is getting for its money. Fourth question, why did you find it acceptable that other quotes obtained, if any, for repairing the security system were not mentioned in the discussion prior to the vote? And the fifth and final question, knowing now that your town board authorized spending almost twice the money of the highest bid that was obtained 4 years ago, will you vote to rescind that resolution and take measures to get competitive quotes that will reduce the expenditure of tax dollars? And may I remind you that in this day of technological innovation, that 4 years between 2012 and now would likely reduce dollar values of quotes, not double them. For the record, I will leave a copy of this summary of the quotes with the town clerk. And a listing of the questions I just posed to you, Mr. Myers. I am appalled by the actions of this town board and hope the honorable folks of Princetown can see what is going on. This board is arrogantly penalizing the many for the benefit of a few. Finally, I thank God for being an American and for the First Amendment right to speak my mind. That's all I have this evening. Good night.
Thank you. Okay, we're still in anybody else?
I just have a couple things now that the campaign speech is over. At last month's meeting, Norm Miller stated that in the 2013 budget, the court clerk's salary was $46,000, and that's inaccurate. Anybody can pull up the 2013 budget off the website. I do have a copy here. The salary for the court clerk was $23,452. So Mr. Miller was wrong in what information he did put out there. My second concern is the security cameras. Okay? The monitor is still in his office. It is a conflict of interest. He said himself at the last meeting that if he were to see something, a crime committed, that he viewed on this tape, he would have to recuse himself. He's not security. He has nothing to do with security. The town funds paid for the cameras and that monitor. That monitor does not belong in his office. He has absolutely no reason to be viewing anything. If there's anything that goes on in this building, inside, outside, wherever there's a camera, the police are going to contact you, not Norm Miller. He has no business viewing anything. My opinion, he's snooping with board approval. Those monitors, the monitor needs to be in a secured, locked facility, in a closet, whatever room is designated for viewing purposes by you, or whoever you designate to view. Because the police are going to contact you. They're not going to go to the judge.
I'm sorry, Lisa.
That's okay, and I would just urge this board to please reconsider moving the monitor for these cameras. I mean, it's great that we have cameras here. You know, there should be cameras here to be viewed should anything happen inside or outside, but not by the judge. He's not security, he has nothing to do with security. Or the security of this building. And the town money is what paid for that. Didn't come out of his pocket, didn't come out of his budget line. It was town money.
Thank you, Lisa. Anyone else before we move on?
Yeah, I got one.
Mr. Mooney.
Patrick Mooney. After the last board meeting, and future in the previous ones, there's been preferred contractors listed many, many times. And I'm curious to know, and I put a FOIL request in after the last board meeting to find out who all the preferred contractors are on the town, how did they become preferred contractors, what other criteria for those. Obviously, there should be a list that all the board members should have if they need to use one for some reason. I'm just wondering if we're going to get an answer to my FOIL request.
Sandy has it.
Sandy, I think,
She has the list.
supposed to have the list.
I haven't received anything from her.
I gave the full list to you.
You didn't make an extra copy?
No, but it was a list of things. We're going to go through it. That was a list of everything that's been.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
You don't have another
Well,
copy?
yeah, I can regenerate it. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
that's-
giving him the entire list.
Yeah, give them the list. I'm sorry, I thought she gave it to you.
Thanks, Pat. Anyone else?
My name is Benjamin Jackaruso. I live on Least Road. Last year when I used to come to these meetings, we would have second privileges of the floor at the end of the meeting. I'm just wondering why they were eliminated. My second question is, I've been looking through the old procurement policy and the new one, and the insurance requirement for a contractor has been eliminated. So I was curious at why the insurance requirement has been eliminated. And my last question is that according to the procurement policy, a preferred contractor, as a town, we can go with the preferred contractor even if their bid is higher. So I was wondering how that is fair to the taxpayers of Princetown. Thank you.
Sure, yeah, I don't know if you're here later, to talk, because I had looked at that procurement policy at the beginning of the year. I think they just follow up with the other questions.
Okay, great, thank you.
We were planning on looking at it again, you know, beginning of the year,
Okay.
so.
I just have one more thing that I forgot to mention, that back in 2013, the court's revenue was $141,482. So it's a far cry from the fines and fees and revenue that our court is bringing in currently. Can barely sustain itself.
So what drives the revenue for the court?
Okay, that's not, we don't have conversation.
You can answer the question, then.
The judge,
No.
it's up to him.
Privileges of the floor, if I could
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have a couple of things. First of all, I want to say a majority of the town board, I think, is doing a very good job, and I think you are very transparent, and so I wanted to put that out there. I also thank the majority of the town board for your support for bringing the Vietnam Wall here in August. It's an endeavor that we started and has grown because we didn't realize all the work, but we're going to pull it off. But I just want to myself thank the board for your support in that. My third comment is in May, the planning board had a discussion about it's a buzzword, solar farms. The planning board is going to receive an application shortly, within the next couple of months, for a solar farm in a GR5. My knowledge, what I'm being told, and people are talking to me, is that there's going to be quite a few of these solar applications coming into planning board, zoning board. It's going to be probably a mix. So our discussion was, how do we deal with this in the best way? And I think a majority of the planning board said we have to look to you for guidance. We have a standalone tower law, and we probably now need a standalone solar law. The towns in our area have not instituted any solar law yet, but are looking at it, and I think that we should really, or you as a town board, I would request that you look at that solar law or a solar law so that there's guidance for us to go forward. Because right now it's kind of a crapshoot, you know. Now, we have obviously solar panels here at Town Hall. We're in a commercial area. There wasn't really much guidance, but it kind of went through, and that's fine. But what you're going to find is these are going to come in GR3s and 5s, I think. And so the town, or the planning board, requests that the town board please review that. Hopefully, if you can discuss it and feel that that's a legitimate request, that you can maybe ask or work on a law for that, so that there is guidance for zoning and planning. So that was all I had. Thank you.
Carol, are you talking like a large array on land kind of thing? Is that
Pardon?
A large array on land, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
large array. Yes. Yes.
How large? Good point. Thank you.
Yes.
Along with what you had, Carol, I just wanted to make mention too, I want to thank all the volunteers that have been stepping up and coming out and volunteering, doing a lot of the work around the town hall. Has been great, and I just want to give a public thank you to everybody that has been pitching in. We certainly appreciate it. All right, anybody else for privileges of the floor?
Yeah, I just have one more question. You'll have your turn. At the last meeting, Mr. Miller stated that he is off the town server and on the court server. How is that? Could he explain how that happened? How did he get his own server? Where did he get the money for that? If that's the case. And also, in looking on the website, the court hours are 10 to 4, Monday and Wednesday. It's, 12 hours. I don't know if she comes in an evening, other than at court. But she also stated, Rose also stated last month that they brought in 90 tickets, and that was like big. That was busy. So if you divide 90 tickets total for the month, for the revenue that was brought in, divided by 4 weeks, that's like minimal. Should have no problem with hours. Why would she need additional hours if there's nobody coming to court.
Are privileges of the floor still open? As much as I hate to have to respond to this because it goes on month after month after month, and apparently Mr. Randy's got a problem with the court.
I do.
So, let's go, we've explained for the 100th time the court security cameras. Okay, first one, there is no audio. Pretty basic concept. The next is, she's writing that court's revenues are down. Again, the question is, what drives the court revenues? Is it a sales tax? No. Is it property tax? No. Is it by collection? No. It's driven by tickets. That's how the court works. So if tickets are down, revenues are down. As a general rule of thumb, it's not necessarily a one-to-one relationship, but as a general rule, if you have 0 tickets, you can have 0 revenue. If you have 100, you're going to say, let's for an example, $100. So when in 2008, when we hit our high mark of court revenues, that was because in 2008 we hit the apex of number of tickets written. So when the court revenues have been dropping steadily since 2008, it's because the tickets have dropped steadily since 2008. Now these facts are in the minutes from last year. It seems preposterous we got to keep going over this and pick on Norm Miller like every other breath. So to the next question of 90 tickets generated last month or whatever the statement was, again, we're failing to take into account the 5,200 tickets that were found as part of the audit. So 5,200, let's do some quick math, at let's say 20 minutes a ticket. What does that come out to? About 1,400 hours, man hours, divided by 52 is in 52 weeks. You're probably at 30 hours a week. Basic math. So when Ms. Carandi stands up and spouts out this stuff that somebody else wrote for, because obviously there's no depth into...
And took it off.
I'm sorry, can I talk?
Not yet.
All right. So I think, again, the board needs to understand what the root cause of the issue is. What is the root cause for the decrease in revenue in the court? And it's the number of tickets that drop. The question that everybody in town should be asking is, what is the town board doing about it? Because crime has not gone down, speeding has not gone down, and traffic infringements have not gone down. Then you can Google that on any site and see that infractions have had, whether it's texting, listening to radio, whatever it is. So the question is, what is the town board doing to ensure that there's less crime in our town, which would indicate greater tickets and more revenue? Now we'll turn it back to Ms. Carandi so she can make another statement.
And I will follow up with you.
Perfect.
I was
Okay,
referring
let's
to
have,
2013.
Can we have the conversation this way?
Sorry, Bob. I was referring to 2013 because that is what was in question at the meeting. That's what he brought up. That's what I referenced. Okay? Revenues from that year. And yes, I do have a problem with the judge having the security monitor in his office. It is a conflict of interest, regardless of what Mike Joyce and friends think. It is a conflict of interest.
And it's been talked about, discussed, and it's in the works, so.
And I appreciate that.
It hasn't gone unheard. So,
Privileges?
sure.
As Mike Joyce referred to, I don't think it is the town board of Princetown or any other town board to direct the state police on what they should or should not be doing.
Agreed.
If you find that in your community there is an increase in crime, that could be addressed accordingly. I don't know that we found that, but you may have. Other than that, it is not up to the town board to traipse down there as the prior supervisor did and chat away. You have your job, the troopers have their job, and you are not here to talk to them to increase revenue. So I think there's a total disconnect on what the point choice.
Privilege of the floor. So the question is, if there's crime in your town, who do you go to?
Okay, Mike, listen.
So is...
There's no crime.
Is there breaking the law? Are they breaking the law?
Yeah, there's
Okay, the town board.
So is that breaking the law?
Excuse me. The town board does not have anything to do with the income. How can we help the judge and then generate income?
Because
Okay.
you go,
The cops.
you go talk to the state police.
No.
No, you
That's
don't.
not true.
Absolutely not.
So you gotta just talk over it.
You made a fool out of yourself going
Don't tell
over
me what I
there doing
did,
that.
Esposito.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You
Okay.
made
They
a fool out of
agreed,
yourself
they
going over
agreed,
there and doing
they
it.
agreed, they agreed,
Mike,
they agreed.
all right.
When you're
Anybody
down
else
by
have any further
80%
comments?
is a problem.
Yeah, I got something to say, guys. Listen,
Yes, that's all they did.
I've been around for a long time.
Good.
Put your head on like you did, okay. And I just listened to all this stuff going on here. And the only conclusion I can come up with is people they're not satisfied with themselves. And they try to make trouble for other people. That's all I can come up with. And think about it. When you put your head on a pillow tonight, you people that come here making trouble for no reason at all, why are you just doing it? Huh? Laugh, Joe. I did a lot for you, Joe. I know all of yous. You all know me, and you know I know what I'm talking about, and I got a heart bigger than all of yous.
Absolutely.
You're still laughing. Wipe the smile off your face, will you? So I said my piece. I wish the heck you'd take it to your heart. Put your head in a pillow tonight and think about you people and why you're trying to hurt other people all the time. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else before we close privileges of the floor?
Excuse me, Parker Kusick, Skyline Drive. And my question to you, Mr. Supervisor, is I would be interested in knowing what the qualifications for our now attorney, Mr. Parisi, as far as being the town attorney.
Anybody else have anything to say?
Thanks.
All right, we'll close privileges of the floor at 7:55.
We said kill.
Yes, at all times, I think.
All right, Sandy.
I was born, I'm 80 years old.
Okay. Sandy, we'll read the resolution.
It is hereby resolved that the meeting minutes of the May 2016 regular meeting are
Yes, can you send somebody to
That's right, Joe. You want this? I don't
just, we do not. Send them that, please.
Looks like somebody's already called, right?
Yes, and Mike, you're gonna be, please, I'm gonna have you,
Good. Good thing about cameras is it's now on film.
okay, and I'd like to ask you to be excused. Please?
Sure.
And yes, if you can't come back and behave, then they're not welcome.
That's cool. It's on film.
Okay,
You pushed me, you touched me,
okay, well,
and I've got
Oh, we come back to the cameras.
That's right.
We come back to the cameras.
okay, we don't need this in town of Princetown, so.
Right.
No audio, but, oh my
We don't need
gosh.
this.
No, we don't, because I'm an old
And I'm glad
time.
it's on the camera because political, again,
Political what?
yeah, the elections are coming up.
Critical you.
Yeah.
Vanessa, what do you think about it?
So if you can't come back, Mike, and
Say something.
behave, please,
You've been around a
don't
long
come
time.
back.
what's going on here is ridiculous.
It is.
And it always
All my
happens.
ancestors.
There's just a few
taking
characters.
care of things. All my ancestors, all the first family. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's caused by a
Very
few,
ashamed.
it's caused by a few losers. Okay?
Very ashamed.
I don't want to hear the meeting.
Yeah, residents.
Any more?
That's right, Joe, get out of here. I get a lot.
Please go. I'd like to
talk about you.
as well.
Excuse me.
We don't need that kind of action in our board.
Greasy bastards.
So I'm sorry, people. Sorry.
Let's try to be civil now.
Let's, and we could, and we've been being civil until this handful of people have been showing up. So I'm going to ask that they are excused from our meetings, and the state police are coming, so we'll let them take care of it. All right, Sandy, if you would take care of the resolutions.
It is hereby resolved that the meeting minutes of the May 10, 2016 regular meeting are approved or as amended.
We have a motion to accept the meetings for May 10th.
Good, I recommend, just the division. And Nick, I mean no disrespect, but on top of page 4, it's just not really germane to our town business. Starting with Mr. Moore, addressing Mr. Joyce, you right back to old stuff. I just don't, I know when, you know, I know that transcends, but I don't want it part of the record. I don't think it needs to be in part of the record. And again, Nick, I don't mean any disrespect, but like those two sentences, I think we can do without those.
We can do without that.
I didn't really understand.
What do you say, Tom? I don't know what you're talking about.
Last meeting, the statements that you made to, he's just requesting that it not, he doesn't think.
Yeah, I don't think it should be part of the record.
I don't care what you put in the record. I talk with a true tongue and a nice heart. I don't say,
I don't know.
what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. I've been raised that way. I've been to hell and back again, and I know what it's all about.
Oh, no, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm on your side. But just for the town record, starting not having it. In trouble. I could be off base. Just want to put it out there.
Okay, is the board okay with that?
You win.
Do we have a motion to accept it? Those couple of sentences that was directed at Ms. Joyce at last meeting. The words that Nick had.
Well, it's part of it, right? I don't see how you can split.
I don't see it there, something wrong.
I don't see how you can.
Can I see that?
What did I say wrong?
It was recorded.
I want it recorded.
Tom?
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Because it was recorded.
All right. What I say, I want to leave it there.
Okay.
Don't touch it.
Fair enough.
Okay, so back to our motion. We have a motion to accept the meeting minutes as they are reported.
I'll make the motion.
Lou?
I'll second.
Doug?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer. Yes. Councilman Myers, Supervisor Myers.
Yes.
General Fund Claims Abstract 6. It is hereby resolved that the town board approves claims numbers 116 to 148 in the amount of $29,243.38.
Okay, we have a motion.
State police officer.
The sheriff's as well.
Pardon?
The sheriff's and the state police are here, yes.
Did they need anybody out there?
Okay, we have a motion before us. We accept it. For the general fund claim.
I'll make the motion.
Lou?
Second.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer. Yes. Supervisor Myers.
Yes.
Water Fund Claims Abstract Strench, 6, it is hereby resolved that the town board approves claims number 43 to 54 in the amount of $3,264.77.
I'll make the motion.
Doug?
I'll second it.
Lou?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes.
Time Warner right of entry agreement is hereby resolved. The town board approves the right of entry agreement with Time Warner Cable.
You don't have to read the whole thing. Everybody has it before them.
Okay.
Okay, we have the motion for right of entry agreement with Time Warner for the state police building.
With respect to that agreement, the only thing I might recommend in changing in there is in paragraph 3, it says it's for 5 years. The later of 5 years or 6 months after the operator ceases to provide services. For some reason, Time Warner thinks their agreement is like proprietary, so they don't want to provide me with a copy of it. So I don't know how long it is, but 5 years seems to be a long time. But now, it could be more than 5 years. I don't even know how long their agreement is with the state police. So, I mean, my thought would be to limit that. Well, they can always come back if they need to continue. And I'm going to ask, do you know how long the lease is each year?
5 years. First, yeah, 5 years, so we got 4 years left. So just signed it.
There's 4 years left. Well, I might see some argument to go with the lease. That's only 4 years. So my thought would be maybe to say.
They have an option to renew every year. It continues on.
Well, if they renew it, they can come back in and ask to extend this residential. My thought would be to make it the lesser of 4 years.
Is this a contract that they have to have it, they review it and go over it every year? Do you have to sign it every year for doing it for 4 years?
No, this
They
is
have a
just-
remainder of 4 years left?
Well, on the lease, there's 4 years. It's different. This is just Time Warner going in to upgrade like fiber optics
Oh.
with the state police in the building. Like they need, with the landlord, they need our position to go in and do that. And I do have a letter from the state police. I don't know if they saw that, they consented, they're on board with them doing that. This question, how long will last?
Is it too ambiguous to say coincide with the lease, or refer to the lease with the state police? I mean, that would cover.
Yeah, well, this is open-ended,
Yeah.
there's no.
Unless you want to do an annual list like that, but that'd be.
Yeah, that's almost too much.
Yeah, that'd be a waste.
Yeah.
But to coincide with the lease with the state police.
Or at least 1 year.
Stuff that we're going to do coincide with the state police.
And I would say the term of this agreement ends with the term of lease.
Okay, any other questions on that before we follow through with the vote to approve that?
So that's on contingent changing this?
And is Time Warner, is that in the process of like being acquired, whatever, to another company?
I don't know how this affects this.
I mean, I'm still like the successors or whatever.
Well, this has been, they presented this to us a while ago. That's from, in fact, I emailed them, and they're back in the board agreements. I think they're doing like the whole same right thing, so they're probably going to get back to possibly Princetown. So before that was back.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. So do you have to address this again if Time Warner?
Or expected, it's a seven.
Right, oh, okay. Oh, is there probably?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, okay.
Stands behind the baby.
All right, any other questions? Okay, Sandy.
Do we have a motion?
Oh, do we have a motion to accept this? Lou?
Second.
Tom, second?
So motions to approve the rate of entry agreement, subject to the term being limited to the length of the lease in the state police.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Esposito?
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes.
Approval for Supervisor Myers to sign the Time Warner Cable Entry Agreement. It is hereby resolved that Supervisor Myers can sign the Time Warner Cable contract.
Motion approved.
Tom? Is there a second? Lou?
Councilman Gray?
Yeah.
Councilman Esposito?
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes.
Purchase of updated computers. It is hereby resolved that 1 laptop computer and 5 desktop computers will be purchased from Omnis Computers for $6,059.94 per the proposal.
Okay, we have a motion to accept that.
I'll make it.
Just checking. Okay. All right. Now we have, did we have a motion to, Lou? We have a second?
I'll second.
Doug?
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Esposito?
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer?
No. And the reason that I do it is because I'm just uncomfortable that there was never quotes from other companies prior to this for the same computers. And the funding hasn't been decided for sure where it's coming out, whether for the town, to the historian, water. So that's why I'm voting no.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes.
Executive session, it is hereby resolved that the town board enters into executive session to discuss a personnel matter at
Yeah,
11.
we have one or two things before that, Sandy, I'm sorry. Okay. Our building inspector's not here. Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
Did you want to just give us an update of what
Sure.
your last month has consisted of, sir?
Building Inspector Thomas Ferrani. I'm just going to give you an update from May 16th to June 14th today. Total of 7 permits were issued. The fees collected were $1,070. The checkbook balance to this date is $1,482.99. I've done 4 building inspections and 2 zoning inspections, and that's about it. Just working with various contractors on different projects and reviewing plans, and things are going very well at this time. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Sounds good.
Actually, some building...
Those would be mostly, there's 2 pole barns, 3 solars, a pool, there's a fence permit.
No new houses?
Pardon me?
No new houses?
No new house. I have a project I took in for an addition to a home. Other than that, I could break it down per project if you wish. Other than that, if there's any questions anybody has, I'll be glad to answer.
Any further questions?
My office, I'm there Tuesday night, 5:30 to 8:30, and by appointment. Feel free to call me anytime, any questions at all. I'll be there as soon as possible. Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. One other thing I wanted to bring, well, we'll do, yeah, okay. We'll open it up to privilege of the floor again.
I wasn't complaining. I just wanted to know why. I wasn't
Well,
complaining.
basically, it was an oversight on my part, and it's not, it's fine if we want to have second. It's just with being new at this all and everything, it's just been something that's...
I understand.
Okay.
That's all I wanted was to know why.
Okay.
Not to be
There's
insulting or
really no
anything like
reason, no reason for it, and privilege of the floor here.
I just want to stress I wasn't trying to be offensive, Lou, or anything like that.
No, that's fine. It's just something that's been neglected to be put back on there, so.
I understand. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, anybody else? All right, councilman concerns. Go ahead.
I just think that this was an absolute disgusting display by our former supervisor. What went on here tonight. This shows you why he wasn't elected again. His attitude and what he's done tonight is a disgrace. And when this town is trying to come together, and this Princetown Volunteers has come together, and all of the things that we've been doing out here, all of the people getting together to beautify this town, to make it acceptable for the Vietnam Wall to come in, which is going to be a big event where thousands of people are going to come to Princetown. It's putting Princetown on the map. It's a dedication to our veterans. Doug has done a great job. All of the volunteers have done a great job. We were up here again Sunday working. I am so happy to see that this is coming about like this. I got an email from the superintendent of schools. I called her and talked with her, and I just wanted to read it. I checked, and we can accommodate parking for when you host the Vietnam Wall event in August. We can also provide buses to shuttle and drivers. All set. What a great thing to get this memorial here. I will also check to see if any of our student groups, music, want to take part. Thank you. This is from our superintendent of schools. And for her to come out and do this, and then for them people in Shelmont to see this disgusting display of what he did tonight and what went on, it certainly doesn't bode well for what we're trying to do in this town. And I'm really, really ashamed of what he did tonight, and everybody had to endure, and the people on TV had to watch. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Mo.
Anybody else on the board?
I agree with Louis 100%, and all it is a campaign issue. He's campaigning. We had 4 months here, never had a problem. The last 2 meetings, it's been a problem, and I don't understand it. Campaigning. Sore losers.
Regarding computer systems, I think that we should address cybersecurity as soon as we get our new systems in. We don't hear about it so much from like small businesses and governments, but the ransomware is rampant, and people are embarrassed to admit that they are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in it, and it could put if we were ever a victim of it, it could put our budgets underwater. I just think that should be addressed as soon as possible. It's a real concern.
Susan? Just wanted to talk a little bit. We've been getting we have gotten a couple of bids for doing some paving in town, and I've worked with Nick, and been working with different ones for these bids, and they've come in and they're looking good. One thing I did want to mention is we're going to have to do some work up on Rooter Drive. We've got some catch basins up there that are in real dire need of some repair, and we've got broken pipes up there. So that's going to be a little bit extra out of our budget this year. But we have gotten a couple of good bids for doing the paving, and I did want to present them to the board, just get a little discussion from them. I don't know just how much they're going to want to do or we're going to be able to do, but I did give you all copies of the bids, and I was just wanting a little bit of input. While you're thinking about that, I was going to just, and again, I apologize as well as it's already been said for the situation tonight. It's very unfortunate. I've been very concerned about it. You know, our town is such a beautiful, small country town. And, you know, when I took this position, my goal was to unite our people and unite our town. And unfortunately, everybody doesn't want to get on board and work together. And I don't really understand it. I mean, I guess, you know, again, you could say it's political, whatever you want to say, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. And, you know, my goal is still to do what's in the best interest of the town. I'm trying to do the best that I know how. I'm trying to do things legally with legal counsel, and we have some of the best as far as legal counsel, as far as I'm concerned. And I just find it really, really a disgrace. You know, we try to come take care of town business, and we have to have disruptions like this. I look at it as the national level. You know, people are disrupting all of these political campaigns, and, you know, we don't need that here in our town. We don't need that. If we all should try to work together, even amongst our differences. And we're not always going to agree, and but just because we don't agree doesn't mean that we've got to take it to the extreme limits. That's why I said there's differences. Let's take care of them elsewhere. The town board meetings are not for that kind of action. So I don't know what the future holds, but I am still inclined to do what's right for the town, do the best I know how. I am open, my office is open. If anybody has concerns or want to talk, I will talk. But I have had to learn the hard way. If we talk, I would like to have a third person involved, because it's gotten to where it's he said, she said, this type of thing, and, you know, so unfortunately it's got to be that way, but, you know, we have to take precautionary measures. So back to the board, in looking over these paving bids, do you want to make any decision tonight as far as pursuing it with anything? We have bids from Empire Paving, and we have bids from Gorman Brothers, and maybe Nick.
We're looking quite a bit. Bob and I, you know, the salesman, they want like $125,000, correct, Bob?
Well, with Gorman. That was to do the Princetown Plaza.
I didn't see the facts, because you said it, right?
Right. And what we're looking at having done is the Princetown Plaza and a portion of Willow Run. Now, let me just back up a little bit there. The last 4 years, yes, I was on the board, but the last 4 years, we did not do much of any, very little, town road work.
None.
And so that's kind of really put us in a hard spot, hard place. So what we're having to look at is doing it piecemeal, doing a little bit here and there until we get caught up and get the roads back up to speed. So that's why we took a look at some of the roads, and we were trying to narrow down some of the worst areas and some that needed the most attention. And this is some of where what we came up with, and some of it was in Willow Run from Scotch Ridge down around to Brookside. And so that's what the bids were for. So I just thought I would present that to the board. If you want to do something on it, decision tonight, fine. If not, then we'll...
We've been trying to keep the price down because we know that we don't have the money to do it. But like Bob says, when I first got in this town, 25 years ago, the roads were in real bad shape. And every year I did a little bit and got them in good shape. Now I hate to see them go downhill again. We got only $125,000. I spent a lot of money on road work when I first got in, which I didn't want to do, but we had to dig roads up and start from the bottom and build them right, like Willow Run. But right now, it's just a matter of, we're right on top of it. It's just a little bit stuff, really, you know? They get good money for doing their work, and we got all county prices. There's all state bids are the same thing. I work with Joe Ryan for the county, and all the money that Katie Company wants, they're all on paper. It's all what it's supposed to be. So it's just a matter of us getting the money up to do it. That's all it is.
Bob, is this still privileges or no?
I'm sorry?
Did you close privileges?
Well, we went to councilman
Oh, sorry,
concerns,
okay.
but
I just had a question about the roads. What is in the highway budget right now? How do you plan to pay for the $125,000? Because
Well-
frankly, at this point in June, I don't think you ought to put it off if you plan to do it this year, because you're
Well,
gonna run
I
out
agree
of
with
time.
you. Our original budget starts with 158,000 as of the budget this last year. And we've pretty much, it was usually about 32 to 35 for snow plowing, grass cutting and like that. So that leaves us, 115, 120 in that ballpark.
You still gotta go from October to the first of the year.
This is correct. And that's why I said we're kind of having to do it piecemeal because, we don't have a lot to.
I mean, frankly, we tried to do Princetown Plaza when I was supervisor, and that, we're talking 6 years, 7 years, I mean, that has to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Willow Run's in bad shape too, but Princetown Plaza, correct me if I'm wrong, Carol, has not been touched
No, and we're
in
definitely.
a long time.
And we're
Since it was
definitely
put in.
wanting to take a look at that and getting that done.
Oh my God, we have to,
That's
yeah.
one of the priorities, and then, like I said, we're gonna try to do what we can within our budget. Now, we did get a couple of different budgets, or proposals. One was quite high, another one came in real good. But Nick, maybe you can explain the difference between the actual asphalt versus the other.
Well, the asphalt's
Process.
usually twice as much or more, so, but they put 2 inches of asphalt down, and it's nice. I like roads like that, but we can't afford it. It would cost us more than we ever could come up with. So Katie Company, what they do, it's good for 10 years, usually, 5 to 10 years, Now, I wanted to mention this, the plaza here. They're gonna take and coat this over the top, like we're doing with the other roads. But I know that this road should all be dug up. So I want to let you all be aware of it. So we might get 5 good years out of it again, it's gonna start getting funny again. You see what I'm saying?
If I may, there's a catch basin down by the main entrance that's dropped 10, 12 inches, so if you are gonna do the road,
Yeah, don't fix that.
something has to be, that has to come up.
Right.
There's no sense putting a new road in if we don't bring that grade
No.
up.
We're gonna do
So-
that. That's all works that done before they do the road, right? So,
Yes, no.
Just one more thing I just want to clarify. You are planning to pay for this out of the budget and not take loans. You're not bonding for road work, is that correct?
Absolutely not.
We're not going to
take on loans. Absolutely not.
That is wonderful.
No. You know, that's why I wanted to stick within our budget, do what we can, and then next year we'll do what we can again.
Very wise.
No, that's, no,
What's happened the last 4 years, they just did the snow plowing, the maintenance, and mowing the grass.
Well, there was also
And the money
discussion.
always went back into the budget.
There was also discussion of bonding and taking a loan out to do road work, which many of us were against. So I just wanted to clarify that that is not the intention here.
that is not the intention.
Then that's a
I
good
don't
job,
plan on
Supervisor.
Doing that. No, I don't feel that's a good direction to go. We did get, can I give you this? Okay. All right, let me just see what we got. Okay, Nick, we did get the one from Empire Paving back, and actually, they do just paving?
Maybe, correct.
Just the asphalt?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's quite a bit of road we're gonna do. We're doing a couple miles of road.
Okay, so as I mentioned, we're looking at the plaza and that section of Willow Run. What's the pleasure of the board?
Good question. Nick, both firms are equally reputable, right?
Well, yeah, the county, we don't have to get 3 bids when we do business with the county because they're not throwing us a price. They work by the hour with a state-approved contract.
State contract.
That's the reason I stayed with them. Now, when we go to other people like Empire, you got $33,000. You get 3 bids and you usually take the cheapest one, you know? But they're all going to be higher than the county, all the time.
Okay. On the Berman, what is Princetown Run 1 and what is Princetown Run 2?
Okay, that's the 2 different parts of Willow Run. They scoped it off from Scotch Ridge down to the first corner. That's Willow Run 1. And then they went from there down to the next road coming into.
I don't know how much I'm going to do with this, but...
Right down to South Pleasant?
Well, where Brookside comes back around?
Yeah. Right there?
That
Okay.
one.
All right.
you go on.
So they got just those 2 sections.
Yeah.
It's like a big L.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, let's let Nick take a look at that and look into it. And if the board's okay, we can maybe come back, have a special meeting to vote on it, and in the meantime, you can think about it, and we can find out a little more information on it.
Nick, you go talk to Empire and see what they're planning on doing.
Just so that everybody's
See
on board.
exactly what they're going to do, yeah. Yeah, well,
You don't want to go, right?
in other words, you're not asking for 3 bids. If we go to Empire, actually, we should get other bids.
Okay.
I should get 2 other bids to do what they're doing. But they're actually going to blacktop it, but I don't know exactly, we had quite a bit Katie Company was going to do.
Yeah, they were gonna do the other,
A couple of miles of road almost.
the fiber mat and the oil and all of that.
So I'll get, if you want, I'll get 2 more bids
Okay.
on what Empire gave the price on.
If you can do that as soon as possible, and then when we get
Yeah.
it, then we can...
Hey Bob, the only thing with Empire now, I didn't talk to them, you did, and what happened was, how much are they gonna do with it for this price?
It's the same that we looked at for the other.
You did give them the other one, and they said it, yeah?
The
Well, that's-
plaza and
Well,
the...
that isn't bad, then. Yeah.
No, that's real good. That's...
Yeah. Yeah, that isn't bad. Okay.
Plaza was 18,000.
No, that sounds pretty good, you know?
So if, by going
Yeah,
that
well-
route, we'll get the other bids.
Yeah, not only that, I'd rather have the type of work that they're gonna do rather than the chip seal and the other stuff, you know?
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
we'll,
So I'll get 2 other bids anyway.
Why don't you
Okay.
talk to one of them and see?
Yeah, why,
The attorney has a question for
he did
you.
work for me before, he's very good.
Did you see with the potential bidders, if they have proposed contracts, they want to, you know, us to sign, if they, you know, what it is, if they do it, get the vehicle for them, okay? Let me just disclose, it's the first I've heard about the bidding on this, but probably with ethics law, I'm required to disclose Empire Paving, if it has been or maybe currently a client in my office, so I think I'm probably required to disclose that for other reasons. Not that I'm voting here, but I'd rather hear on the
Usual last road, a couple more bids.
Okay, we'll follow up on that and we'll table that for tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I-
Something else you wanna-
Bob kind of,
Okay.
I said my piece.
Yeah. All right, did the board, anybody on the board have anything more to say for privileges of the board? Oh, I did have something else I need to mention. We did get a resignation email from our DCO officer. She has resigned as of the 30th of this month. So we'll have to be putting that out there as needing a dog control officer.
Don't you think we ought to put it in the paper about that?
So either that or at least put it on the webpage and,
Didn't we just pay for her to go to school?
Yes,
We
So
did
we
pay
did a
for
lot.
her training and then she resigned?
yes,
That's not fair.
I know.
but I just received, well, a bit ago and responded, but as of the 30th of this month, she is resigning. So I just wanted to put that out there. If anybody has any ideas or anybody that might be interested, we will advertise one way or another, webpage, paper, I'm not sure just what the,
You gotta put it in the paper.
Yeah.
You gotta put it, you have to have a
we need a
resolution.
resolution to do that. Okay. All right, Sandy, we're gonna do a resolution then to post for a DCO part-time, but we need to discuss the pay and everything, so.
Yeah, that's out there. You can answer it part-time.
All right.
When do you want to meet for Nick?
Well, you want to shoot for the second, or for our second meeting, the fourth Tuesday, like,
Yeah.
is that okay? Is that okay with everybody, fourth Tuesday of this month?
Just for this?
Just for this.
Just to vote on this, right?
Yeah,
Let's get it going.
just for the vote, and,
Summer's over.
so it'll be just short and sweet and in and out.
Okay.
All
Talking
right?
about the paving, for paving.
On the paving.
This
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Okay, so, do we have a motion to accept the resolution for putting the ad in the paper to hire a DCO officer?
We'll make it.
Lou?
Second.
Doug?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer, yes, Supervisor Myers,
Yes. And I will try to touch base with Ronnie Edwards to have her put it on the webpage, and we'll cover our bases there. Unless anybody has anything else to say, I think we'll have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make it.
Lou? Tom?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer, Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for coming and for your participation. Appreciate it.